Starting it up.
Okay.
Are we excited?
I'm excited. I need some air.
There it is.
Hey, look at these
Hey.
cool vents.
Okay. So we're doing the Honda Civic idea, but different.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You mean on the
Back that up a
vents?
bit.
The vent toggle
vents
joysticks?
Yeah, I didn't mean. I realize it's not a Honda Civic. We're in the Cadillac LYRIQ. It's not a Honda Civic. Newsflash.
It's really not.
I was just noting the fact you were talking about the vents. I was noting the fact that it's like that. Okay, so that's a Mercedes-esque piece of switchgear, but
yes.
Cadillac is really excited about the fact that not only is their first fully all-electric, but it is also like all Cadillac switchgear.
That's very exciting. I'm actually really impressed. Initial impressions are very good. The LYRIQ. Cadillac is reinventing themselves. Did they need reinventing? I kind of think they did.
Probably, yeah.
Ooh, that's a slight, like, burbly, Cadillac-y V80 sound coming out of there.
There's a
Just
unique
slight
sound.
burble.
It's a sound that you don't actually notice as being odd. And the other thing going on, though, is this is quiet.
It is.
It's very luxurious quiet. It's not like some electric cars are strange quiet until you hear the whirring. They're just strange quiet.
Sure.
This just feels like luxury car quiet. You know what I mean?
Which is the whole point. And that's
Absolutely,
good.
yes.
And that's part of the Cadillac reinvention. And what they've done is put what they call next generation noise canceling into the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
They've, of course, got sound deadening, but this thing is really quiet.
Yeah, very much
This
so.
is kind of what you want out of a Cadillac.
You would think.
This is what the
You would
brand
think,
kind
yes.
of personifies, is wafting, quiet.
Yes.
I'm very comfortable, lots of luxury. And get this, the price for this rear-wheel drive, $62,900.
Mm-hmm.
The all-wheel drive version, $64,900.
Yeah,
that's kind of unheard pricing in the realm of electric cars if they stick to it.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive.
TV, web, and podcast. This is Everyday Driver.
I should note a couple of things. First off, this Cadillac LYRIQ is in our backyard in Park City, Utah.
Yeah.
And due to scheduling difficulties with us and with Cadillac, we have an hour in this car. So grand
much time,
total,
yeah.
we have an hour. So some people have had longer than us. We're going to do everything we can to cover a lot of stuff that's going on. That reminds me, this bag can be seen because this is the kind of stuff that happens when we go fast.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so it's just fast stuff happening. But the interesting thing is the point you just made about price and electric cars, because we just got passed by a Model 3.
Yeah.
They are not hard to get to 60 grand. They were supposed to be the $35,000 electric
the
car. They
3.
aren't. That's the 3. A Model S is more expensive than this everywhere you want it. The Model X is way more expensive than this. The really powerful ones are almost twice as much as this.
Yes.
So here is, you can look at it a couple of ways. This is not a cheap car. This
No.
is really not a cheap electric car. It's not the Bolt, it's not the Leaf, it's not those kind of
Right.
things. But we have a Cadillac badge, which suggests luxury, but we have a price that you can get your kind of average loaded 5-seat SUV for. You can't get you can't even have a discussion about an Escalade at this price. And that is the other product that Cadillac has got just flagship quality about. That thing where Cadillac is like the Rolls-Royce of the U.S. It is. It's about luxury. It's about experience. It
Yeah.
has enough power, but we're not all about the power. But it has
Right.
enough power. It's all of those things, and this in electric form plays to all of those strengths.
That's a good point. I'm thinking about this Cadillac reinvention.
I'm stopping without the pedal. Whoa! No, stop
Oh,
a
there
little
we
bit.
go.
Okay, that needed a little
Using
more
the
pressure.
paddle.
I was using the paddle. There's a paddle on the left side.
You
It's
need to
just
get those
pressure.
paddle fingers
I got to
going.
get my paddle. I haven't got that refined yet. My paddle hand is not quite refined, but you can hold the paddle, and see, okay,
Yeah,
feet
you
are
can
up.
hold it just like a brake.
And you can actually
paddle,
use it as a
pedal.
brake pedal, which is very interesting. So it's the brake paddle. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
The only problem I have is because it's a great idea. It's also on the Bolt. The only problem I have is the fact that paddle, for as much as you're going to use it, for as much as it is built to be pressure sensitive, is plastic, not metal.
Yeah.
And so it gives a little bit underneath pressure.
Oh,
it's going to be used
flexes
all
a
the
little
time.
bit,
It should
yeah.
that should be metal. That should be a nice piece of aluminum. That was no brake pedal, by the way. That should be aluminum. So because you're going to
Fair
use
enough.
it so much, you can
Fair
feel
enough.
it flexing, and that's a touch point that isn't very good. And I'm pointing it out because most of the touch points in here are awesome.
They are. Yeah, so I've been thinking about this Cadillac reinvention thing.
I've been thinking about the fact I'm in an electric car. You know what's up with electric cars? They're all quick.
They are all quick.
This is 5,600 pounds.
Yeah, but Cadillac is not selling this predicated on it being quick, which
No.
is what the ground Tesla has covered.
Yes.
And that has said to the industry, well, this is how you need to advertise and sell electric cars. The top-end model just has to have all the power and it has to beat everybody. Well, electric cars are quick just inherently by their nature.
Yes, they are.
Despite the weight. 5,600 pounds is not light.
That's really, really heavy.
But, okay, this is electric cars across the board until battery technology brings it down so it is lightweight and the dynamics change. I've also been thinking about my question. Will every electric car from here on out drive the same by virtue of its platform? And the sun is glaring right off the instrument panel right now.
Awesome. That's
It
very
is
good.
doing the Audi thing. It
Good,
is
excellent.
blinding right now,
Uh-huh.
so the sun's at the perfect angle. But this platform, from here until eternity, will henceforth be used for every EV GM produces. This is from the engineer.
This is outside of like the Bolt.
Trucks.
This is their big one.
The Bolt does not.
Yes.
Trucks, cars, and SUVs, because you can change it. It's modular at will. You can lengthen the battery. You can double stack it like it is in the Hummer. You can change the length and width of the wheelbase. It's actually pretty easy.
And it is actually the same chassis components as the Hummer EV.
Yeah,
Which is
it
crazy. It's that whole modular chassis has been used for the Hummer and used for this. This is not the size of the Hummer. The Hummer almost weighs twice as much as this, by the way. Just ponder that for a second.
Can't believe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it has twice the battery power, twice the. Anyway,
yes.
We're not talking about the Hummer. This is impressive because of the price, and because even though it's quick, you're not buying it to be quick.
No.
That's what Cadillac is saying. They're saying we're reinventing ourselves from a design standpoint and a luxury and for what you get standpoint. And for those reasons alone, I'm impressed. This feels much higher end. This feels $80, $90, almost $100,000 in today's market. And it isn't.
Feels like every bit of an $80,000.
That's
EV.
great. That's a
Absolutely
big
feels like an
surprise to me.
$80,000. Yep, I totally agree with that. And you were mentioning before, this chassis is being used for multiple drivetrains. It's going to have front-wheel drive variations in Chevy products. Here it is rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This is the rear-wheel drive. You can get it all-wheel drive. Of course, you know they're going to have some super high-performance one later.
Maybe.
But this
Great.
is 340 horsepower, about 325 pound-feet of torque, which actually, for something this large, feels like adequate. But then you put an electric motor with that, and it actually feels like plenty. Quite a bit of power here, quite a bit of speed here because of that electric drivetrain. This is an interesting progression for Cadillac because this screen they're very excited about.
Yeah, this is in the Escalade.
But it's in the Escalade with an extra little piece here, like an insert piece here. So this is a variation of what's in the Escalade. Cadillac's making a big deal about the fact this screen is unique to this car. It is, but there's a sister to this in the Escalade, which we love in the Escalade. We love that Cadillac is actually making things that feel like they're just for Cadillac. It's
And
not
they
the
are,
nicer
yes.
Chevy. I am also boggled by the Escalade comparison in size. Because did you know that this has a longer wheelbase than an Escalade does?
Is it really?
It's a longer wheelbase. The Escalade is body on frame, 7-seater.
Probably not the super extended wheelbase one. This is just the base, the Tahoe size.
The standard
Escalade, right?
Tahoe size Escalade has a shorter wheelbase than this and packs 7 seats in there. This has a longer wheelbase and is only 5 seats.
By the way, I
which
love
is
that we're
very
pulling into a
interesting.
gas station to turn around and swap drivers.
Yes, in our electric car, for sure.
Love
of course
the
we are,
irony
yeah.
there. But bravo to Cadillac for a new design language, and they have talked about vertical being part of their design history, which it is. And before, they've used light pipes for lighting. They've had a light generator, and they've used the pipes to actually create what they want. But the headlights are actually vertical. The horizontal slits are just the turn signals. So that has completely changed their design language, and it is very Cadillac. And the panel on the front, that black polycarbonate, is laser etched with white paint on the back, which means that is the differentiator between trim levels too. So they're all into textures. Nature again comes into play. I'm telling you, designers love
The mood
nature.
board was there, man.
But
They
that's
used
okay.
the mood board.
Nature has the best textures and themes, and they're endless. So the interior design team is talking about the buildup of a pine cone texture. Yeah, they're right. And you know what? It's interesting and good to look at.
Yeah.
And it's different than the typical materials that we've suffered from for 20 years in Cadillacs. And they do not say, let's say this is all-wheel drive, 65,000 at the top end. This is 63 as the rear-wheel drive. And by the way, the all-wheel drive version gives you 160 more horsepower, which is nice. But this, it's still fast. And Cadillac isn't saying buy this because it's
True.
so fast and it's got
No.
some sort of cloth mode, plaid, houndstooth, name a tartan sort of. Tartan mode.
That's what I'm looking for.
Oh my
that.
God.
That's going to be in the new electric Mini. Is going to be tartan mode.
Tartan mode.
Anyway, yeah.
What will that feel like? Nevertheless, when you buy Cadillac, this is now allowed Cadillac to get back to what the brand says to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, you bought a Cadillac.
Yep.
Oh, you bought the highest end of luxury, and you got a good deal on it because that's what GM's all about. And you got this luxury, and it's fast, and it's brilliant, and it's quiet, and this, I think, will bring Cadillac back to their roots. Strangely enough, they had to use technology to get back in consumers' minds what Cadillac has always been about.
Push into electrics.
That's impressive.
To find what they're known for. That is bizarre, but
it's
I think
weird.
You might be onto that.
Look at these textures, the open pore ash and the pine cone buildup and the polished surfaces and the leather and the... It's interesting. It's fun to look at. Electric cars don't have to be boring iPad-like. They don't.
Yes, it is interesting, and it does do that thing that I have complained about, and they've solved it here, and that is so many electric cars have got to be super stark and super futuristic, and look at me, and this is definitely a step forward into the future thinking of Cadillac. It definitely has that design language.
This could be a gas-powered car.
It could be a gas-powered car with this interior. It's not like, please notice me.
Right.
It just has all of the electric stuff. It is that electric thing working toward giving you luxury, not please notice me, I'm electric. And I do think you're onto something. This is Cadillac
it just strikes
finding a luxury voice that is in their history by stepping forward into the future. That's kind of bizarre.
Yeah. And whether or not you like the exterior styling, it is striking. And it does say, if you look at this, it does say Cadillac with the vertical integration of themes.
That's a good point.
That is interesting. And it actually, there's surfaces there that are beautiful. This has to say beautiful, stylish, but still kind of tech, and that's what they're leaning into, a theme that says style and tech. Even in the presentation, they showed a 67 DeVille, the IP. You know the Speedo that...
Yeah, the huge
You know, this huge thing is up all the way and goes to like 85 tops.
Of course it does.
This long rectangular piece is echoed in the interior. So they're even pulling their history into this and leaning into tech, which I appreciate.
That is cool. That is cool. It's time for you to drive. And I have other things to say, but I'll wait till I'm over there. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Door handles. You know what was wrong with door handles? Nothing.
Nothing.
There was nothing wrong with door handles. There was no reason to reinvent the door handle. I know Tesla did it. Now everybody feels like they have to do it. The Mach-E did something fiddly. This is even fiddlier than the Mach-E, if that's possible. Press the button, the door slides open. Now grab the handle. It's like a two-handed. Oh,
It's possible.
there's nothing wrong with a door handle. Doors have been around forever. Since the cave, doors have been around.
Since the cave.
Handles were
Car
great.
door handles. Cave paintings.
I'm telling you.
Hieroglyphics.
But I'm just
Door
saying,
handles.
door handles in general have been around since I don't even know how long. There was nothing wrong with the door handle. Stop. It doesn't have to be something weird.
I'm feeling the driving experience. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Because I keep, like I said, wondering what electric cars will drive by. And this has 50-50 weight distribution.
That's good.
Most future electric cars will also
They
have
should.
that.
Yeah.
It has a low center of gravity. Check. Yep. But what's striking me about this is the isolation. And that's why you buy Cadillac. It's the design, it's the experience, the interior experience especially, and the isolation. I'm not looking for a sporty driving experience. You've got 3 driving modes. With the wheel down here, I don't need the seat to vibrate every time I pass a car. I know we're all about safety.
We're all sensing.
But I've got this.
But
I'm not the guy you need to worry about.
But you've got all that Super Cruise technology for later.
Have you noticed Super Cruise and its indicators are buried deep within the vehicle? They will be offered OTA.
Yes.
Once they're ready. And
all the tech is there,
But
you can't use it yet.
it's my understanding you're not paying more for that. That might be off, but
True.
I do like the
it's
price
going to
on
be
this.
included in Cadillacs for sure.
Now, as far as range is concerned, like I said, the all-wheel drive gives you 160 more horsepower. But Cadillac has calculated this to be a 312-mile range battery. Their Ultium technology.
Competitive.
But they say the average road trips, the big road trips by most people are about 400 miles. So What does that mean?
Uh-oh.
You need fast charging,
Yep.
and they have claimed 76 miles in 10 minutes with the DC fast charger.
If you find a fast charger, that's the hard part, is finding
Is this
that
me?
charger. But yes, this is you.
Yes, this is
but
me.
when you do, you can actually, that's a good amount of range in a small amount of time.
Hey, look, corners.
Yep.
This thing was not built for corners. I have zero expectation. There's no steering feel here. I don't care.
Put you in sport.
Okay, sport is good.
Yeah, there you go.
The seat is vibrating at me.
Of course it is, because you dare get close to the line. Don't get close to the yellow line. What are you
dared.
thinking? Oh, look,
Yeah,
a Rivian.
A Rivian.
Hey, there you go.
And you know what they're saying? Hey, look, a
A
LYRIQ.
Cadillac, huh? Electric Cadillac. Look at that.
Yeah, this is not built for corners. Maybe
No.
the V Series LYRIQ will be. But again, who cares? This
No,
is a
it's not what it's
5-passenger,
for, yeah.
and the rear seats have great space.
Huge
It's
space.
a flat floor with a
Yep.
flat battery. But I just wonder, the differentiator. It can't just be power. It has to be tuning, chassis tuning. And to that end, Cadillac has said, ooh, am I making you ill?
No, I
Okay,
was just
good.
going to say, and I think Cadillac's already gone beyond what you're saying. I
They
think
have.
This isn't being sold on just a power number.
No, it's not.
While there's no denying this is heavy when
It's
you
heavy.
do
It
this.
feels
it's
heavy.
really heavy.
I'm
Heavy
really
in the
trying
corners
to-
for sure. You're doing fine.
Not go too hard here.
The actual handling of the weight is well tuned. It's not sloppy, but you cannot get away from the fact that all of a sudden you're really aware of how heavy this is.
You really are.
The 5,600 pounds is really clear when you throw it on any kind of corners. Even though the body control is very good, it's dealing with a ton of weight.
Ooh. Turning around. And they claim for a tight turning radius, and they're right.
That is good.
Look at
there you go.
that.
Yeah. Cadillac's first 5-link rear suspension.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
they're taking this chassis and they're making it their own, which is very impressive. I'm trying to classify this vehicle because I don't think it's a CUV. I don't think it's an SUV. I think
It's a
because
tall car.
It is. It is in that same middle ground category as the current Subaru Outback. It's not a car, it's not an SUV, it's like a big inflated wagon thing. It's not a slight. I'm just saying
It's a classification.
This is trying to get its way into, oh, it's a CUV, it's an SUV. Once you look at it, it really isn't. It's like a tall wagon, which is what the Outback gets away with. I hope that it sells like crazy in that shape. It's in that same idea as, like, frankly, the Jaguar I-Pace was in that kind of tall wagon thing.
Sure.
It's that kind of thinking that apparently is what all our electric cars are going to be in the first gen. So this checked the box there. I keep coming back to the thought you said earlier, which I really think is the key thing. Somehow Cadillac has stepped forward into EVs and found themselves with this.
I agree. My grandfather was a Cadillac man his whole life. His first car was a 1936 Cadillac.
Wow.
It was probably the same size or proportions as this.
Probably.
Cars
Yeah.
in that era, in the 30s and 40s, even though it was a car, they're every bit as big or bigger than today's CUVs.
Yeah, they were big. They were very big.
He passed away at age 102. When he was 98 years old, he bought a Lexus with a 6-year extended warranty, because when you're 98, that's what you do.
You're going to be around. Yeah, why not?
But you know what? I'm convinced he would have bought this. If he were still alive,
That's good.
this would have brought him back from Lexus.
Interesting.
Because that's what everybody who buys a Lexus wants, the isolation from the road. Yes, that's what Cadillac built their name on. That's what they built
That's good.
everything on. He
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
style, technology, be seen. I'm driving a Cadillac that says something about who you are, your income level, your status in life.
Interesting.
He was a Cadillac man, and I know he would have bought this.
So it is simultaneously not your grandfather's Cadillac and your grandfather's Cadillac.
And
It
my
is both at
grandfather's.
once.
But I'm saying he would have bought this because he loved tech. He loved the
Yeah,
new.
he did. Yeah, he did.
And anybody who loves that, you get all this history with Cadillac. The good parts of the history.
Sure, yeah.
Not the Catera and the Cimarron parts.
we'll pick and choose the history. We'll pick the good parts.
Gloss
we'll
over
pick
that.
the big fins and the nice presents. Yeah.
But you get something different that has its own flavor, that is truly all electric and doesn't look or feel like any other electric car on the road. That is a win. And then you factor in
Yes.
the price.
Yes.
That is a huge win for Cadillac.
I cannot believe the price is as good as it is. There's stuff in here that I feel like is like, okay, we're trying stuff like door handles.
Sure.
Just like, stop it.
Or not trying.
Okay, yeah, well, they're trying something new and it wasn't necessary. It's like ain't broke, don't fix. That's exactly
Right.
where we were on door handles. Stop it. But this is a great execution that offers that isolation. The weight is staggering, but that doesn't matter
It
anymore in
is.
electric cars.
Right,
and
right.
Again, you said it earlier, we're not driving this for performance. We're driving this for experience, and Cadillac has nailed it there.
Absolutely.